November 5, Yankee Zulu Hotel.
Yes, sir. Yankee Zulu Hotel. I've got somebody about 1 KC off my frequency, so I'm catching a lot of garbage. But anyway, garbage in, garbage out, I'm sure they're getting some too, so it just depends on their determination. Anyway, Yankee Zulu Hotel, what is the name there, sir?
Anyway, Yankee Zulu Hotel, what is the name there, sir?
Come back on that, please.
What is the name there?
What is the name there?
Oh, my name is Douglas.
Roger Douglas, and whereabouts are you, sir?
Roger Douglas, and whereabouts are you, sir?
I'm having a little bit of trouble on that. It was quieter earlier, but there's a little noise where it's a little harder to hear you now.
Yes, sir. What is the name? I got the name. Where are you, sir? Where are you located?
I got the name. Where are you, sir? Where are you located?
I'm in Southwest Oklahoma. Southwest Oklahoma.
Roger, Oklahoma. Gosh, I don't usually go a lot west, but welcome in, sir. What radio are you running, sir?
But welcome in, sir. What radio are you running, sir?
I have the Yazoo FT-10DX.
Roger, I'm sorry. Frank Thomas 10 DX, Roger.
I'm sorry. Frank Thomas 10 DX, Roger.
Right, the FT-10DX, FT-10DX.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
And let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Okay. As an inverted with the apex about 47 feet above the ground, and generally it seems to work pretty good for me.
Roger, Roger Douglas. Well, I'm copying you down in Georgia on my Georgia SDR, the best. Not getting too good a copy anywhere else, but down in Georgia. So, if you're ready, let's do a little setup on your transmitter. Starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear on the air, but it does exactly what we need to do to get our dynamic range in order. So, it'd be compressor on, and a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Roger?
Compressor on, and a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Roger?
Roger. I have my processor on at 30. I have it on at 30 now. My gain is at 55 now, and the ANC level is at 45 now.
All right, Douglas, so what we want to do is get that ALC level up to mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation. Roger?
On your ALC meter by way of mic gain manipulation. Roger?
And Douglas, that says you speak fairly rapidly, because if you just go 1, 2, 3, the ALC meter never has a chance to really accurately reflect what it's reading. So what you want to do is go 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 as you're adjusting your mic level control. Fast cadence, Roger?
As you're adjusting your mic level control. Fast cadence, Roger?
Okay, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Yes, that's running 3/4 scale, I guess. If I look at there's no numbers on the ALC meter, but if I look at the S meter, it's about a 7, and on the ALC meter, it appears to be about 3/4 of the way.
Roger Douglas, you're right on schedule, sir. You're at the exact best point to give you a 3 dB dynamic range. I can see that on my modulation meter as I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter. You are right on schedule. So make a note of where your mic gain control level is. The only time that number is important is to be able to refer back to it, because the whole thing is how the mic level control affects your ALC. The ALC is the important thing, and you want to turn that mic gain control until you can get mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC, then write somewhere down what the mic level happens to be at that point. Roger?
Down what the mic level happens to be at that point. Roger?
Roger, I understand that.
And on the EQ, maybe if you tell me the best thing you like about your radio for 10 seconds, I'll be able to hear your audio and give you some EQ adjustment thoughts. Roger?
And give you some EQ adjustment thoughts. Roger?
Okay. I like it. It's pretty easy to use. Clean looking, not too terribly large. Got a really good display, and I can generally filter out the noise so that I can hear a signal pretty good. I could probably stand to turn my filtering up a little bit right now. There's a little bit back there, but generally I can filter out background noise real well.
All right, now you want to be running 100 to 2900 on your passband. 100 to 2900 on your passband. Roger, Roger?
Band. 100 to 2900 on your passband. Roger, Roger?
Roger. That's what I have it set for.
Yes, sir, because anything else is a compromise, and it starts by rolling off some of the top end, and the top end is very critical for word articulation, understanding the word, the syllabic range. So you want to keep that passband 100 to 2900. Now, Emma, as I'm listening to you, I think you could probably use a little more top-end EQ. So if you would, we could go to your EQ page and see what we have there. Roger?
We could go to your EQ page and see what we have there. Roger?
Okay, the top end I have centered at 2200. I'm using a high headset, but the top end EQ is centered on 2200 hertz at level 6 with a bandwidth EQ of 5.
Yes, sir. Now, can you change that EQ curve position from a 2.2 to a 2.5K? Can you go to 2.5K on that upper treble control?
2.5K on that upper treble control.
Okay, just did that. Is that any better?
Well, if you're on 2.5 or 2.6, whichever comes first, then I want you to crank in an additional 3 clicks of EQ boost. 3 clicks boost EQ treble at that 2.5 or 2.6, whichever it happened to be. Roger?
At that 2.5 or 2.6, whichever it happened to be. Roger?
Okay. Well, it is centered at 2.5 now, and I boosted the level from 6 to a 9.
All righty, and what is your maximum boost level? Is that a 10 or a 15 or a 20?
Your maximum boost level, is that a 10 or a 15 or a 20?
Maximum boost is 10. That's what it's on right now.
Yes, sir. All right, why don't you tell me something I don't know. If you happen to have a radio story, why don't you give me a radio story there for about 10 or 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and let me look around again and see if I can find a better path. Roger?
Let me look around again and see if I can find a better path. Roger?
Okay. Because I have, the top end is now centered at 2.5 kilohertz with a level of 10 and a bandwidth EQ of 5. The mids are centered at 900 hertz with a -3 and a bandwidth of 5. and the upper, the lower frequency, our center is 200 with a -9 and a bandwidth of 5. Is that long enough for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't have that good a copy on you to really proceed much further as far as being able to get you a good EQ curve. I've got too much noise, and I'm looking at a spectrum analyzer in addition to listening to you. And when you get down into lower audio levels, spectrum analyzer is reading a lot of channel noise in addition to your signal. So I can't really see your signal that clearly because it's not hot enough for me to be able to read it, Roger. But you're very articulated now. I mean, you can understand the words and everything. It's just a matter of setting that bottom end EQ, Roger.
It's just a matter of setting that bottom end EQ, Roger.
Did you want me to change some of the settings on the EQ or to tell you what they are?
No, I would just say, are you saying that you have like a 4-band EQ pretty much? Is that what you were saying?
That you have like a 4-band EQ pretty much? Is that what you were saying?
No, it's a 3-band. I have a center frequency of 200 on the low with a -9 and a bandwidth of 5. And the mid-range is centered at 900 at a level of -3 and a bandwidth of 5. And then you had me set the upper at 2500 and a 10, and it is still at a bandwidth of 5 also.
Yes, sir, Douglas. Yes, sir. Okay, now let me tell you, what we want to do is always keep that mid-range EQ flat. You're right now -3 on that mid-range. You should always set the mid-range as flat because equalization is all about striking a balance between the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. And if you manipulate the mid-range, it makes it so much more difficult to strike a balance from the top to bottom. So always keep your mid-range EQ flat, and that way we'll be able to much easily EQ your curve. Roger?
Much easily EQ your curve, Roger.
Okay, I put it back to 0, and does that help it any?
Yes, sir. Now you have a little more. Before you were kind of soft in the mid-range. And that's the thing about a microphone. Usually they're fairly linear between, say, 500, 400 cycles up to 1.2K or something like that. So that is where that mid-range is, and we want to keep that mid-range flat to take advantage of the flatness of the microphone. So usually where microphone falls off is at the top end of the bottom end, and so that's what this EQ is all about. And I think now I'm getting a little bit better signal on you, but you do have a much better mid-range now. So let me hear you just a little bit more, maybe 10 seconds of the topic of your choice so I can hear you just a little bit more now.
Topic of your choice so I can hear you just a little bit more now.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the low frequencies. I have them centered at 200 with a -9. If that sounds suitable to you.
We could try to come up to about a -5. Bring that up to a -5 on the bottom end, and let me hear you there.
5 on the bottom end, and let me hear you there.
Okay, that's at a -5 right there. Does that sound any better?
Yes, sir. You have a little more bottom end. Now, what you need to do is pay particular attention to the way that you address the microphone. You want to systematically adjust that microphone the same way each time. So make a note of what your distance to the microphone is, and we want to try to stay on axis to the microphone as much as we can at the consistent distance. Roger?
Microphone as much as we can at the consistent distance. Roger?
Roger. Well, it's a headset, and I usually set it right at the corner of my mouth, where it's sitting straight up and down, and pointed just slightly over in front of me. And so it's pretty consistently applied just like it is right now.
Yes, sir, and you're doing that just excellent, to the point that I wasn't even aware that you were using a headset microphone. So kudos to you, sir. You're operating that microphone on the boom just perfectly, Roger.
You're operating that microphone on the boom just perfectly, Roger.
Roger, I appreciate that. I've had a little bit of experience, but I just listen real well, and I've read articles on it back when they actually had magazines with print.
Yes, sir. We've got just a beautiful handle on that, and that's why we are pretty steep on the treble EQ curve, is because you're slightly off axis to that microphone in general, which is a good thing because of the proximity. So, but that's just explaining why we are running a 9 EQ treble boost, Roger.
A 9 EQ treble boost, Roger.
Roger. Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, so I would get the Gorilla Tape and tape everything down. You are perfect, Roger.
Tape everything down. You are perfect, Roger.
I will make a note of these settings, and I will keep them available.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would do that. And the thing is, you don't have a lot of bottom end, but you do have some bottom end. But the thing is, people don't realize that Mother Nature sometimes does a thing called phase cancellation. And that is, our transmissions go out into space and are bent back down to Earth. And sometimes Mother Nature plays a little game, and she bends half of it down at one point in space, and she waits just a little bit longer to bounce the other half down. And what happens is that you have a time differential between those two pieces coming back to Earth, and because there's a time phase relationship difference, you start to get cancellation, 180 degrees out of phase cancellation, and the first thing that goes is the top end of your audio, and it works its way down the more as the space time bounce changes, but it starts at the top end of the audio spectrum, which is all of your top end. So here you have this beautifully EQ'd, lots of bottom end, lots of top end signal, and it's just sounding marvelous. And 600 miles away, Mother Nature says, well, we'll see about that, and she just turns the tone control off, turns it down on the top end as she cancels out the top end, and you're left nothing but with a mid-range and this bunch of bottom end that used to be balanced to the top end, but now the top end is missing in action, and all you got is this bass end, and you're like Mr. Mumbles, Roger.
In action, and all you got is this bass end, and you're like Mr. Mumbles, Roger.
Roger, I understand that. I appreciate your efforts here helping me get it straight and explaining to me what some of it is like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let me say 73 to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. If you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of some 2,000 Qso-Vlog aircheck recordings. 73 there, Douglas.
Qso-Vlog aircheck recordings. 73 there, Douglas.
Okay, I really appreciate your help. 73, November 5, Yankee Zulu Hotel.
Roger, 73. And this, I see by the clock on the wall there's a dead fly. It's an old story, but we're turning into a pumpkin, so we got to get out of here. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you participated, want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call later search for KC9VKV along with the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of some 2,000 some odd Qso-Vlog aircheck recordings. So we got to get out of here, return this frequency back to regular amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, will be clear.